cutting off the bottom lid, second batch. Hello everyone, viewers and friends, welcome to the DT Labs channel and thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to try making transparent concrete. It's a very interesting technology, but it's also very expensive, about 50 to 90,000 per square meter. We're going to try to make it ourselves, step by step. So, shall we get started? All right, here we go. So gentlemen, what's the essence of the technology? We take this type of plastic light guide. For example, they're used for things like creating starry sky effects and so on. This one is 3 millimeters. Ideally, you'd want 2, but we have 3 millimeter ones. We cut them into pieces like this. We make a mold that's 100 by 200 by 400 millimeters. That's the size of our blocks. We make a plywood template with holes spaced 10 millimeters apart. Then we insert these pieces into the holes and pour in fluid concrete.
We'll be using a ready-made concrete mix, which is actually very strong. It's classified as B100, so it's extremely durable and robust. We'll probably add some target hyperplasticizer to make it more workable and easier to handle. We pour all of this mixture in, then carefully dismantle the mold, and once the concrete has set and hardened, we sand the edges thoroughly. This creates transparency in these light guides, resulting in a very interesting and visually striking effect. Now we're going to mill the holes now, just as planned. So here we are, carefully milling the holes. We wanted to try using a laser for this process, but unfortunately, our 120 watt laser simply can't cut through 10 millimeters of material in a single pass. So we decided to mill instead, as it's more reliable for this thickness. This is how it's done, step by step. I think it'll take about an hour to finish. The holes are 4 millimeters in diameter. We'll be back soon after this is done. All right, gentlemen, we're getting started again. Here's Uncle Vitya, Viktor, Pigachev, and Petya, all ready to continue. Light guides. Well, the G5 chat suggested something to me here. You can use plastic for 3D printers. There's a transparent kind that also works as a light guide. The thickness is about 1 millimeter or so. So, what did we end up with, Konstantin? Show us. Here's my film held up to the light. These are the 2 Carolines. There you go. It drilled them in about an hour. I thought it would take longer. 4 millimeters. Now we'll assemble the formwork. Hopefully this works. Cutting the lid. What's this called, Kostya? Drum sanding. We'll run it through that so everything looks solid. Hold again? Oh, that's right, it's a drum sander. The drum sander is a tool used to we'll run the pieces through the drum sander so everything looks solid and smooth. Now, put it over there and take one out of the way so we have enough room to work. Then we'll come back to it when we're ready to start again. Nice and even. Good. That's what we want to see. Look, we trimmed it just a little bit, and after checking, it turned out to be just over 3 millimeters. That's not exactly perfect, but it's still within the range we can work with, so it should be fine for now. It's not the best result, but it will fit as needed. If it turns out that the fit isn't quite right, or if you notice any problems when you put everything together, you can always recut it the day after tomorrow if necessary. This gives us flexibility and ensures we have another chance to make adjustments if we need to. It's important to double-check our work, especially when precision matters, so we'll keep an eye on it and make sure everything lines up properly. What's the measurement now? 4.1, 4.1. The attempt failed, unfortunately. There we go. Let's see now. Let's check again. 2 at once this time. It'll all be done soon, folks, so please be patient. Let's go ahead. Smells like burnt wood in the air. That's a nice, pleasant smell. We've got this kind of dust extractor here, which helps keep things clean. Then there's an aspiration system right here as well. A proper jet one, very efficient. In the air. We bought it on a Vito. It collects everything into these little bags. There, just like that. Everything's great. And then there's this too. Later is connected like this.
That'll do. Okay, here we're cutting out the second one. We cut two at once. Cut it out, sawing it off. Gentlemen, here we have two panels. We decided to put them together like this, then spread them apart. That should be faster, probably. It's not working right now. It'll work in a moment. Oh, there it goes. Come on, pull it in. Alright, moving on to the second option. Let's screw it in. Well, in general, the work isn't.
It's not quick, and it's still a bit crooked, and so it goes for a couple of hours. You need to get some child labor involved. In a day, you can assemble about 3 of these if you get the hang of it. If it were straight, it would be easier. They're bent. So this is how the light guides turned out inside here. Gentlemen?
What
do we have so far in terms of cost? Basically, these light guides cost 125 rubles per cube, and let's say about 50 rubles for cement, so that's a total of 170 rubles per meter, and there are 12 of these cubes in total.
So it comes out to 1,700 rubles per square meter, plus labor. I think you can fit it into 3,000 to 4,000 per meter, maybe even 5 with labor included, which is quite reasonable in my opinion. Not 50 like they sell it for. So what did we end up with? Uncle Vitya spent 3 hours poking these in, and this is how it turned out. All right, folks, I'll take 100 milliliters of target for 8 liters.
That's quite a lot, because you really shouldn't over-dilute the mix, as it can negatively affect the final result. But this is what it looks like when properly prepared. This is BB120, which is a ready-made mix, and unfortunately, it isn't produced anymore. This particular batch is from old stock, so we'll give it a try and see how it performs. We started with 500 milliliters of mixing water, combined with plasticizer, and now let's see what happens as we proceed. If necessary, we'll add more water. Pour in 2/3 of the mixture, just 2/3, go ahead. Remember, not a full cup. It's important for the consistency.
There is no need for any ceremony at all, gentlemen. That's just right. We simply take the container and pour it in, making sure to do so carefully and steadily. As you can see, it's flowing smoothly, which is a good sign and means everything is proceeding as it should. The liquid is settling down now, gradually becoming still, which is exactly what we want to see at this stage. Now that everything appears to be in order and the initial steps are complete, let's get started with the main part of our work. We've got a good, self-compacting concrete mix, which is designed to flow easily and fill every corner of the formwork without needing vibration. This type of concrete is especially useful for projects with complex shapes or heavy reinforcement, as it ensures a smooth and even finish. The second batch is almost where it needs to be, and we're carefully checking its consistency and flow to make sure it meets our standards before moving forward.
We'll vibrate it later, but for now we've poured it in. Oh, maybe there's a bit too much water, or maybe it's just right. Anyway, that's how it is for today. We'll let the batch sit, then we'll take it apart, polish it up, and
We'll show you the results. The process is labor-intensive but interesting, and it can be optimized. Please subscribe and like. See you next time.